Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Great to have you here with us. So, aham arogyam, I am healthy. Aham anandam, I am bliss. My true nature, my real essence is just bliss. Aham madhuram, I am the same, blissful, but also in the sense of I am ever present. I am the sweetness of life itself. Aham purnam, I am perfection. Aham mrityunjay, I am free from the fear of death. Aham swatantra, I am self-effulgent. Aham ahimsa, I am non-violence. And we can just chant this for a little while and get very familiar, again, absorbed into the space that is our own self and has all these qualities. Aham arogyam, aham anandam, aham madhuram, aham puranam, aham mrityunjay, aham swatantra, aham ahimsa, aham arogyam, aham anandam, aham madhuram, aham puranam, aham mrityunjay, aham swatantra, aham ahimsa, aham arogyam, aham anandam, aham madhuram, aham puranam, aham mrityunjay, aham swatantra, aham ahimsa, aham arogyam, aham anandam, aham madhuram, aham puranam, aham mrityunjay, aham swatantra, aham ahimsa, aham arogyam, aham anandam, aham madhuram, aham puranam, aham mrityunjay, aham swatantra, aham ahimsa. In English, I am healthy, I am blissful, I am ever present, I am perfection, I'm free from the fear of death, I am self-effulgent, I am non-violence. Aham arogyam, aham anandam, aham madhuram, aham puranam, aham mrityunjay, aham swatantra, aham ahimsa, aham arogyam, aham anandam, aham madhuram, aham puranam, aham mrityunjay, aham swatantra, aham ahimsa, aham arogyam, And we can just take a moment and really recognize that space, that being, that well-being that we are. And see how all the experiences and all the information that we get through the senses is just absorbed back into the space of peace the moment that we sit and we close our eyes and bring our attention to that which remains unchanged. Remains undivided. And blissful. Perfect, whole, and complete in itself. Absolute health, life that has no opposite. Shining in self-effulgence, enlightening its whole creation. With love and with absolute non-violence, which means the vision of oneness. And the next song is about that yogi that has that vision of oneness and flows through life as a complete non-doer, guided by the pure knowing, in stillness and in freedom and in peace. Ramata yogi behta pani, inki rehti shudh kahani. Ramata yogi behta pani, inki rehti shudh kahani. Inki rehti shudh kahani. Inki rehti shudh kahani. जब जब रुकता नीरा नदी का हो जाता है मेला पानी. जब जब रुकता नीरा नदी का हो जाता है मेला पानी. हो जाता है मेला पानी. हो जाता है मेला पानी. रामता योगी बहता पानी, इनकी रहती शुद्ध कहानी. रामता योगी बहता पानी, इनकी रहती शुद्ध कहानी. इनकी रहती शुद्ध कहानी. इनकी रहती शुद्ध कहानी. जब ही बंधता योगी कर में कुंठित होती जीव रावानी. जब ही बंधता योगी कर में कुंठित होती जीव रावानी. कुंठित होती जीव रावानी. कुंठित होती जीव रावानी. रामता योगी स्वयं कहानी, जो ही ज्ञान उतरता मन में, कहता प्रभु की स्वयं कहानी, कहता प्रभु की स्वयं कहानी, कहता प्रभु की स्वयं कहानी। रमता योगी बहता पानी, इनकी रहती शुद्ध कहानी, रमता योगी बहता पानी, इनकी रहती शुद्ध कहानी, इनकी रहती शुद्ध कहानी, इनकी रहती शुद्ध कहानी। The one on the path of truth, the one of pure mind, who knows herself as stillness and place in the current of life. She is like the water ever eternally flowing. She is forever pure and true and dwells in knowing. Ramata yogi behta pani, inki rehti shuddh kahani, Ramata yogi behta pani, inki rehti shuddh kahani, inki rehti shuddh kahani, inki rehti shuddh kahani, inki rehti shuddh kahani, inki rehti shuddh kahani. The one on the path of truth, the one of pure mind, which means mind has been absorbed in its own source of purity, who knows herself, himself, as stillness, as space, as being, well-being, and plays in the current of life, plays in that game of life. That one is like the water, ever eternally flowing, without any struggle, just flowing, free flowing, and is forever pure and true. Why? Because that one dwells in knowing. The reality is of knowing, not of things. These are 3 verses that really spoke to me so much. It's Bhagavad Gita chapter 6, the yoga of meditation. So the chapter on where Krishna tells Arjun what meditation is and how he can meditate and how he can use meditation to ease his struggle on that field where he's about to fight against all his relations. And that fight, as Swami also described in the introduction, that fight is not necessarily that seen, but everybody every human being probably experienced this kind of fight in their own head with their relations, especially on the other side, as triggers. And these 3 verses really describe in a beautiful way why the mind is actually so uneasy. And that's because it is really hankering for the peace of its source. But its nature is to go out with the senses. And when it goes out with the senses, there's no way they will lead the mind back to its source. So that's the struggle of the mind, and that's why Guru is needed. The Guru awareness is needed to lead that mind back to its source. So that's verse 25, 26, and 27 of chapter 6. Shanaya Shanaya Ruparame Buddhya Driti Grihitaya Atma Sanstam Manakritva Nakinchirapi Chintayet. Shanaya Shanaya Ruparame Buddhya Driti Grihitaya Atma Sanstam Manakritva na kinchidapi chintayet. Shanaya Shanairuparamade Buddhyadriti Grihitaya Atma Sanstamana Kritva Na Kinchidapi Chintayet. Shanaya Shanairuparamade Buddhyadriti Grihitaya Atma Sanstamana Kritva Na kinchidapi chintayet. Shanaya Shanairuparamade Buddhyadriti Grihitaya Atma Sanstamana Kritva Na kinchidapi chintayet. While practicing meditation, the yogi should use his power of knowing to direct the mind with patience exclusively towards its originality, the space, the highest existence, the original one, the source to which the mind is attracted. And only in that verse is the whole explanation of how to meditate. Focus on your power of knowing. Bring the attention to your power of knowing. And we can do that in any moment, whether we sit with the eyes closed or we're talking to somebody. And the beautiful thing is that the mind is attracted to that source. So once it also becomes aware of the possibility, even though it will never experience the source because it transcends itself and dissolves, but it can be interested. And that's also the task of us in our sadhana, to keep the mind interested and lead it back to where it is free. It will again feel expanded or have a sense of being bigger than just a small little person separate from everything else. So while practicing meditation, the yogi should use his power of knowing to direct the mind with patience. With patience, Swami said, with infinite patience, towards its originality, the space, the highest existence, the purest existence, the original one, the source of all, to which the mind is attracted. And we can just close our eyes for a minute and do that, follow that invitation before we move to the next verse. And lead that mind towards the power of pure knowing, the absolute, unchanging, pure awareness of whatever is happening, has ever happened in our life, will ever happen in our life, or in this waking state experience that we call our life. Yato yato nishcharati manaschanchalamastiram tatastato niyamyaitad atmanyeva vasham nayet. Yato yato nishcharati manaschanchalamastiram tatastato niyamyaitad atmanyeva vasham nayet. Yato yato nishcharati manaschanchalamastiram tatastato niyamyaitad atmanyeva vasham nayet. Yato yato nishcharati manaschanchalamastiram tatastato niyamyaitad atmanyeva vasham nayet. Yato yato nishcharati Manashchanchalam astiram tatastato niyamyetad atmanyeva vasham nayet yato yato nishcharati manashchanchalam astiram tatastato niyamyetad atmanyeva vasham nayet yato yato nishcharati manashchanchalam astiram tatastato niyamyetad atmanyeva vasham nayet. The human mind is fidgety because it wants the information of its original space to which it is attracted. But because of the functioning of the human senses, the mind has become part of them, and it seeks its source in the material forms they desire. When the yogi has come to know the technique of meditation, which lets the senses be still, then the mind, left alone, will be absorbed in its own space. We can take a minute to allow that to happen and watch that happen, grounded in the pure knowing. See how the space so effortlessly presents itself, expands, becomes recognized by us, by itself. And all that remains is just space, it's just purity. Peace. It is so fascinating to see we're watching the same mechanism, the same functioning of the mind that is present all day. But that shift in our perspective, coming from the perspective of space awareness rather than ego, intellect, me, mind awareness. There's so much space and it's such an innocent play. And what is in the foreground is the freedom of that space, the freedom of me. The human mind is fidgety because it wants the information of its original space to which it is attracted. But because of the functioning of the human senses, the mind has become part of them and seeks its source in the material forms they desire. When the yogi has come to know the technique of meditation, which lets the senses be still, then the mind, left alone, will be absorbed in its own space. Prashanta manasam yenam yoginam sukham uttamam upaiti shantarajasam brahma bhutam akalmasham. Prashanta manasam yenam yoginam sukham uttamam upaiti shantarajasam brahma bhutam akalmasham. Prashanta manasam yenam yoginam sukham uttamam upaiti shantarajasam Brahma bhutam akalmasham prashantamanasam yenam yoginam sukham uttamam upaiti shantarajasam Brahma bhutam akalmasham prashantamanasam yenam yoginam sukham uttamam upaiti shantarajasam Brahma bhutam akalmasham prashantamanasam yenam yoginam sukham uttamam upaiti shantarajasam Brahma bhutam akalmasham prashantamanasam yenam yoginam sukham uttamam upaiti shantarajasam Brahma bhutam akalmasham prashantamanasam yenam yoginam sukham uttamam upaiti shantarajasam Brahma bhutam akalmasham prashantamanasam yenam yoginam sukham uttamam upaiti shantarajasam Brahma bhutam akalmasham. And the meaning continues. This is because, so the mind will be absorbed in its own space, because the mind's ignorant pursuit, moving everywhere along the functioning road of the senses, becomes still through meditation. The very mind becomes one being, Sat Chit Anand Ghan Brahm, or absolute pure awareness, bliss consciousness. Thus the state of peace is found, which is the highest Anand, or bliss. Thus the state of peace is found, which is the highest bliss. For a yogi who has gained stability, there arises serenity of mind, which is supreme happiness. He remains forever at peace, full of the knowledge of his true self, where duality or the sense of otherness never reaches. Thus the state of peace is found, which is the highest bliss. And once this vision is unfolded, it can never be taken away. The mind can still get interested in the material things that the senses desire, but the knowing, the power of knowing that has been revealed can never be forgotten. And the next song is talking about exactly that, that it cannot be forgotten. So it invites us to really stay with that guru awareness that we have come to realize in our meditation and in our life. The title of the song translated, is be with the self. Since you always think that you are a human being, with skin, bones, blood, and limbs, you are never aware that you are pure, free, and forever. These are the names of Guru. In this song, you, the Guru, are being addressed. If you have come to know that you are a Guru, then remain Guru all the time. It is sure that time, which applies to your age, is being reduced. While watching the phenomenon of age, remain with Guru, who never becomes bound by age and time. Remain Guru consciousness. You must not worry about the fact that day happens in the morning, and you must not worry that night happens in the evening, because this is the natural law. Remain awake, aware, and enlightened of your Guru nature, and never forget it. The wheel of time keeps moving and never stops, but you are the one who, as the knower with knowingness, remains the same. You never change with the wheel of time. You were never born, and you never appeared, because you are Guru consciousness, invisible, undivided. Nor do you perish when things and bodies are destroyed and perish. Knowing this fact as a human being, which is your instrument for knowing, remain Guru, rather than with the body. You should not dwell within the body. No matter what changes and who comes and goes, you know all the coming and going as a witness. So remain only a witness, Guru, pure consciousness, forever pure and free, that you are. Then see everything being tuned in and aware of yourself. This is your own vision. It is called Guru vision. The eyes remain with the body, and sight remains with the eyes. Sight watches all the forms in the world. Watching is its function. But the one who knows that the forms and things are one manifestation of the very self, pure consciousness, is you, and that is Guru. Remain Guru. Be Guru. That is you. It is observed that for a human being the world is visible as long as his eyes are open. But if the eyes become blind, the world goes away forever. No world remains at all. If the eyes are closed, the world is invisible temporarily, and then it becomes visible again when the eyes are open. This is the nature of the eyes. You, yourself as pure consciousness, which is unseen and invisible for a human being, always remain with the mind, yet never become the mind. That is what your self is. Remain with that self as your true nature, which is Guru. Remain forever that. Rehna, rehna, Guru Sangha rehna, Ayurya karti jai, Guru Sangha rehna. Rehna, rehna, Guru Sangha rehna, Ayurya karti jai, Guru Sangha rehna. Chinta nahi din ki, chinta nahi raat ki, jagana, jagana, Guru Sangha jagana. Chinta nahi din ki, chinta nahi raat ki, jagana, jagana, Guru Sangha jagana. Rehna, rehna, Guru Sangha rehna, Ayurya karti jai, Guru Sangha rehna. Rehna, rehna, Guru Sangha rehna, Ayurya karti jai, Guru Sangha rehna. Kaal gati chali jai, जाए, तुम तो नहीं चलते, तुम तो नहीं रुकते। खाल गति चली जाए, चली जाए, चली जाए, तुम तो नहीं चलते, तुम तो नहीं रुकते। नाही तुम होते, नाही तुम मिटते, वासना वासना नित्य संग वासना। नाही तुम होते, नाही तुम मिटते, वासना वासना नित्य संग वासना। वासना वासना नित्य संग वासना, वासना वासना नित्य संग वासना। रहना रहना गुरु संग रहना, आयुर्य कटी जय गुरु संग रहना। रहना रहना गुरु संग रहना, आयुर्य कटी जय गुरु संग रहना। बदले जो भी कुछ भी, आए जाए जहाँ भी, साक्षी तुम हो तो साक्षी हो वे सब ही। बदले जो भी कुछ भी, आए जाए जहाँ भी, साक्षी तुम हो तो साक्षी हो वे सब ही। साक्षी बने लखना लखना लखना, लखना लखना गुरु अक लखना। साक्षी हो वे सब ही, साक्षी बने लखना 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 गुरु अक लखना। रहना रहना गुरु संग रहना, आयुर्य कटी जय गुरु संग रहना। रहना रहना गुरु संग रहना, आयुर्य कटी जय गुरु संग रहना। टेक नयन संग ज्योति तेरी रहती, टेके सब जग को दृष्टि ऐसा करती। टेक नयन संग ज्योति तेरी रहती, टेके सब जग को दृष्टि ऐसा करती। जाने जो जग को नाही दूज बनना, बनना बनना चित्त ही बनना। जाने जो जग को नाही दूज बनना, बनना बनना चित्त ही बनना। रहना रहना गुरु संग रहना, आयुर्य कटी जय गुरु संग रहना। रहना रहना गुरु संग रहना, आयुर्य कटी जय गुरु संग रहना। नयना जब मुंडते, सारा जग उड़ता, चित्त निज के बस तेरा निज रहता। नयना जब मुंडते, सारा जग उड़ता, चित्त निज के बस तेरा निज रहता। संग निज निज के नित्य नित्य रहना, रहना रहना गुरु संग रहना। संग निज निज के नित्य नित्य रहना, रहना रहना गुरु संग रहना। रहना रहना गुरु संग रहना, आयुर्य कटी जय गुरु संग रहना। रहना रहना गुरु संग रहना, आयुर्य कटी जय गुरु संग रहना। रहना रहना गुरु संग रहना, आयुर्य कटी जय गुरु संग रहना। Stay with Guru, remain with Guru. That's all. You are the only one for me that I ever know. You are the only one for me that I ever know. Truly, you are the only one that I ever know. Truly, you are the only one that I ever know. I at home day and night, my mind on you, taking a flight. I stay at home day and night, my mind on you, taking a flight. My wings are so vast and high, they do not fit in any sky. My wings are so vast and high, they do not fit in any sky, other than the one that's like you, other than the one that's like me. You give me enough space to fly, that is why I love you, my sky. You give me enough space to fly, that is why I love you, my sky. You are the only one for me that I ever know. You are the only one for me that I ever know. Truly, you are the only one that I ever know. Truly, you are the only one that I ever know. You take my boat across the ocean of life, full of storms, hazards, even though. You take my boat across the ocean of life, full of storms, hazards, even though. And you are the one who always safely rows. Yes, you are the one who always safely rows. You take me to your oneness and give me freedom to enjoy and fly. You take me to your oneness and give me freedom to enjoy and fly, wherever I swing and go. You are the only one for me that I ever know. You are the only one for me that I ever know. Truly, you are the only one that I ever know. Truly, you are the only one that I ever know. You are the only one for me that I ever know. You are the only one for me that I ever know. Truly, you are the only one that I ever know. Truly, you are the only one that I ever know. Truly, you are the only one that I'll ever know. Amaram hum, Jai Jai Guruji.